what makes Postman Pat one of, if not the most beloved and timeless children's characters?
You know, I keep answering that question, and I feel I should stop, only because how does anybody know what makes something like Pat, Pat? He's timeless. He's a part of the English DNA. He's absolutely integral to what I think of as England because I've been watching him since I was a little kid. So other than the obvious things, his kindness, his stick-to-itiveness, the wonderful characters who live in Greendale and how nice it would be to live there, other than the obvious, Postman Pat is magic. He's been magic since the day he came on. He's still magic. There'll never be anything else like him. There'll never be anybody to compete with Postman Pat. Not even texting.
As a director, how did you find the challenge of preserving that iconic legacy with both updating him for a new audience and making him a little bit more current in some ways?
Well, there's a team of us, and we were very, very, very serious about not changing the essential heart and quality of the show. So Pat is still Pat. When you see him in CG, your first thought isn't, oh, look, a CG character. Your first thought, oh, it's Pat, and he moves a little better. But it's still Pat, and we were very careful. And the script and the cast and most of the crew are all English and are very protective of it. And whenever the Hollywood guy tried, they slap me down. They're a tough group of guys here. They want their Pat. And so I listened to smart people and hopefully respected the subject matter and tried to make something exciting.
For fans who haven't seen the film yet, can you just give us a quick synopsis and tell us a bit about where some of the ideas came from, particularly the reality TV angle, because that's something slightly new to the world of Pat.
Isn't that great? Kim and Annika, the writers, came up with that. The first two writers on it came up with that. And that's the script I was handed. And that was one of the reasons I decided to do it, other than the fact that, Pat's in it. But I don't know where the idea came from, but it's an appealing idea to take a character that you know very, very well and have him go off because he wants to get Sarah the honeymoon they've never been able to afford to have. He goes off and competes on not the X Factor for legal reasons, and he actually tries to compete and win a vacation in Italy. And he goes on and he sings, and it turns out Pat has an amazing talent none of us knew about, and Ronan Keating's song will absolutely make you cry. I defy anybody to watch that part of the movie and not get a little choked up. It is unbelievable. Ronan just kicked it out of the park, and as did Rupert with his song, and Stephen, who is the voice of Pat, who did a brilliant job. And together what these guys do then, they bring us to this Pat who is now swept into the world of, I won't say Hollywood, but he's swept into the world of entertainment. And basically they try to Americanize him, and he won't let him do it. Because remember, America bad, England good, Postman Pat forever.
Amazing voice cast like you just mentioned there. Can you talk a little bit about the other voices we are going to recognise and what they all bring to the film? I mean, obviously people like Rupert, young fans particularly very excited to hear him.
Yeah. Rupert was fun too, because he can sing. So he's got an original pop tune in there, and we had a great time. And he's got a very fun character. Rupert's character is actually the competition for Pat on the talent show. And we think we've got a great take on that character, very likable character. And his manager is David Tennant, Wilf. And to say that Wilf goes stark raving insane over the course of the film would probably be a fair thing to say. And he's he's Josh's manager, and this is their big chance. And so it gets very competitive for Wilf. Nobody else seems to be as worked up about it as Wilf, but if you've ever had a manager, that's not untrue. And Jim Broadbent, who's just stunning, is the CEO, the person we meet who actually runs the post office, well, the delivery service now. Just unbelievable talent, and he just brought this warmth and this charm and this sweetness to that character. We have Stephen, who did an incredible job. I could name the whole cast. Nobody did a bad job. Susan Jordan as Sarah is the sweetest voice in the world. I dare you to shut your eyes, listen to Sarah, and not fall in love with Susan. She's incredible. And so the whole thing was great. The cat wasn't handled that well. I don't like the guy who did the cat. That was me. I'm allowed to say that.
You're allowed to insult yourself. Before you leave us, do you have a message for big and little fans of Pat out there who can't wait for the film? Anything like that?
Yes. When you come to the film, please remember we're tried very hard to give you a wonderful, entertaining evening at the film. We're very grateful that if you come and support it, and we hope we're going to supply you with an experience you and your family will remember for years. I really hope this becomes part of your childhood and part of your family's life, and we're deeply, deeply grateful and honored you've chosen to share our work. Thank you.